Teaching math in your homeschool can be incredibly time-consuming and stressful for you and your child. And that is why I recommend to people that one of the first things that they get themselves set up for as a homeschool family is a math program that does all the teaching, grading, and record keeping for you. It's a humongous help. And my favorite that I recommend is CTC Math. This is something that I used with my kids, and I want to tell you a little bit about why I love it. CTC has video-based lessons that you can do on a Kindle, tablet, your computer, whatever. There's an Australian man that's the teacher. My kids loved his accent, and it's just a very clear and concise lesson. They don't have to be able to read, which is great if you have pre-readers, kids who suffer from eye fatigue for trying to read too much on screens, or kids who are dyslexic, like two of mine were. So K through 12, they can get their lesson, and there's interactive questions after the lesson, and then they go ahead with the practice problems afterwards, and the program will grade those as they're doing it. And also what's really cool is they have an interactive algorithm that will adjust what the next problem is depending on where it sees they need help. So if they're, showing that they're having a problem with something, the algorithm is going to address that right there, which I think is brilliant. When I was in school, we used to, probably you have the same thing, have a teacher that taught a lesson, and we did some problems on the board, and then we had homework to do at home, and then you went home and hopefully you remembered, but maybe you didn't, and you did your homework and turned it in the next day, and class rolled on from there. But you know what? A few days later, you get your paper back, and maybe you weren't good at it, maybe you made a bunch of mistakes, but the train is still chugging along the track with or without you. It is so wonderful as a homeschool parent that you have the time to address mastery. Anything that your kid doesn't understand, you can pause and take all the time that you need to help them understand. And CTC is great with that. So super helpful in actually helping your child master a thing before they go on, which is especially important in math because everything builds on everything else. So they need to have their foundation below the next step. The other thing that I really love about CTC is the price. They're extremely economical, so much better than buying different math levels for all your kids and then having to teach it and correct it and all of that. This is super wonderful because it's one price for all of your kids, no matter how many levels they go through. And in fact, they've actually got a special deal for you if you go to the link in my bio.